So this is Dee with SellThisTrailer.com. Just driving through a mobile home park in Mesa, Arizona. As you can see with some of the way that some of these homes look, typically your better maintained, older homes, more classic style homes are going to be indicative of typically what you're going to find in a senior park. And a lot of these parks, the more stable parks, especially in this area, you're not going to find a lot of transition taking place. You're typically going to find, the shuffleboard area. They're going to have a big old clubhouse. They're going to have the pool for the tenants. You're going to have some interesting modifications such as, garages being brought on, other types of extensions put onto their 1960s trailer. You're not going to find as much turnover typically in these parks. That's the reason why a lot of people like to own these types of parks, just simply because the seniors, once they pick a place, they typically like to stay there. There is one there for sale. It might have been a transition situation, but very often you're not going to find very many for sale in these areas. In fact, especially in this area down here, what you're typically going to find is that a lot of these parks are going to have what we call, I guess they call them down here, snowbirds. People coming down here from, because we're in Mesa, Arizona, so typically people coming down from the Wyoming, Montana, Dakotas area, Minnesota area, as well as also a lot of Canadians from Edmonton, Calgary, metro areas is where you're going to find a lot of the people coming down here. So occasionally, and then also you got Wisconsin, obviously Green Bay's there, coming into this area. The main reason why I'm pointing this out is just to help educate you that if you're looking to buy inexpensive trailers, yes, you can find them here, but also you're going to have to sell them cheap as well, okay? The main reason why I point that out is I have tried to find ways in which to be able to make these homes work in these types of parks. And unless you own it, it's pretty difficult, meaning the park, it's pretty difficult to be able to make money within these types of parks, because the way that I typically buy it, as well as also typically the way that a lot of my other folks will buy it is going to be one of those things where you're going to be able to have a situation where you are going to that guy was trying to snag me. Where you're going to be able to buy the property, you're going to have to fix it up and turn around and resell it. But the thing is the way that you have to sell it is at a price point that isn't going to double or triple your money. In fact, you're going to be lucky if you're going to be able to even get what your fix-up costs were out of the trailer. So there's some issues that way, guys, that you need to be aware of. So trailer parks, specifically senior age-restricted parks, are the ones to be aware of, where you might have some issues with trying to be able to make money from the standard buy, fix, and sell of a mobile home on somebody else's lot. Now, the actual acquisition of the mobile home itself, in a lot of cases can be pretty easy, or in a lot of other cases, because you're not in that restricted age, it could be a difficult situation. So those are some things just to be aware of when you're looking to get into some of these senior parks. Some of the senior parks also, and I'm just driving around showing you guys some of the area where we're at. I mean, it's a pretty large metropolitan area that we're in. It's a very desirable area, so just in case you're wondering, that's what we're doing here. But with these mobile home parks, what I have done in the past, oops, you're trolling now too. What I've done in the past is I have actually, my father's of age, so he's worked with me before and being able to get in and get qualified with the parks. In a lot of cases, a lot of the park managers know what you're doing. If you're straight up with them, they'll figure out what you're doing. They'll understand what you're doing for the most part, as long as the park is friendly to investors. Some parks are not, but a lot of cases, what a lot of them will do is they'll go ahead and be okay with being able to let you get in and turn around and resell it, as long as you're selling it to somebody that is of the restricted age requirements for that park. I've also in the past paid somebody to go in and be basically my partner from this, at least a signing standpoint of getting into the park, because you do, in order to be able to acquire these homes, you have to be approved with the park. It's a little bit different when you're actually an investor looking to buy in the park, but still same type of thing. And what happens is typically is a lot of cases, if they know what you're trying to do, they'll be open and receptive. They can make your life very miserable if they do not like what you're doing and you try to be sneaky about it. So between those two things, two quick little pointers: when you're buying in senior parks, restricted age parks, I guess is what I should say, you got to be careful with the amount of money that you're putting into it, because in a lot of cases you're not going to be able to get that money out of it. I have found one technique, which I'll share in another video, that has worked quite well in those types of parks. But if you're as far as a buy, fix, and sell, you're quite restricted. In addition to that, one other thing that I did offer as a nugget of information is that when you're looking to qualify to get into some of these senior parks, you do need to have the approval of the respective owner of the park or manager of the park, whoever's controlling those things. And in some cases you might need to have somebody that's of age. If you're not personally, go ahead and qualify, or you might need to partner up with somebody who's of age, or just simply be straightforward and upfront with the park manager and let them know what your situation is as far as what you're trying to accomplish and how you're basically trying to help them with their park to be able to get that thing filled up. Because in a lot of cases, if somebody has passed away, the relatives are not paying that lot rent, and so it's just something that ends up becoming a nightmare for them. In a lot of cases, a lot of these parks just really do not want to own property. They don't want to own the homes. Some of them do, but a lot of them would just prefer not to have to own the homes. So this is Dawn Erling with SellThisTrailer.com, providing you another tip and pointer for being successful in the buying, fixing, and selling of mobile homes and parks.